I'm going to go through why I've decided to start buying ARK ETF, what the ARK ETF is, and I'm going to go through the big ideas report that ARK created for 2022. If you're like me and you had growth stocks, you would know that growth stock took a massive hit in January 2022. A lot of my growth stocks hit the stop loss. And I've realized it's very hard to pick individual growth stocks that will do well. There might be the odd one or two that does well, but if majority of your portfolio is made up of growth stocks, you're basically asking to be in the red. The reason why I'm investing in ARK ETF, firstly, I like growth stocks. However, they are very high risk. What an ETF is a basket of shares. So you're not exposed to one or two or three or a couple of companies. You've got hundreds of companies in this basket. Now, if you jump on the ARK website, you can see when you go to the homepage, they say we invest solely in disruptive innovation for investors seeking long-term growth in the public markets. Now, if we click on here, investment solution, go to ETFs and we look at what type of ETFs they have. The first one is the ARK Disruptive Innovation. This is actually the one I'm investing in. And you can see they've got loads of others. You've got space exploration, 3D printing. Now, if we go to ARK Disruptive Innovation, it says, aims to provide broad exposure to the disruptive innovation. ARK believes innovation centered around AI, robotics, energy storage, DNA sequencing, and blockchain technology will change the way the world works and delivers outside growth as industries transform. Now, if we look at the ARK price, it's recently taken a massive hit. So if I just get rid of the volume. All right, so you can see in 2021, around 16th of Feb 2021, it was at $159. Now, if we go down to today's price, it's lost about 54%, but year to date is still up 150%. So those that got in early made a very good return on investment. However, due to the price drop, I think this is a very good buying opportunity for myself to invest in ARK Innovation. Now, if we actually look at the fund, the year to date return has been minus 23.38%. So you massively underperform the market. However, the reason is it's heavily weighted in pretty much growth stocks. I mean, it's pretty cheap. Its expense ratio is 0.75%. It's under 1%. I think anything under 1% and they're doing all the work for you is pretty much a good deal. And if we look at historic performance, so you can see each year. So in 2017, it was up 87%. 2018, 3%, very modest. 2019, 35%. 2020 was ridiculous, 152%. And 2021, minus 23%. The next thing, because it's an ETF, you can check out its holdings. So these are its top 10 holdings. Now, Tesla, I actually had a couple of years back at $300. Back then, I thought it was overvalued just before it entered the S&P 500. Clearly, I was wrong. And Tesla has massive growth potential because the world is moving to electric. And they are the first movers. They're the innovators. They're the best in this market. And they will continue to be the best. I mean, the legacy car makers will probably eventually catch up. Teladoc Health, I've been hearing a lot about recently. You've got Roku, Zoom videos, I'm not a big fan of, but apparently ARK think it's a great investment, especially at its current price. Coinbase Global, I think, has huge potential. I think currently it's undervalued. The reason I think that is because I think in the future it could be probably one of the biggest financial providers in the world. Now, obviously there's other things like Spotify in there and a breakdown of where it's based. What you can also do is you can actually download actual holdings data and we can see they've invested in 41 companies. And there's some great names here, to be honest. I can see that there is DraftKings. They'll probably do very well. Shopify, I think, is another really good one that has huge potential. But as I said, it just diversifies your portfolio and reduces your risk because of ETF. Because out of these 41 companies, only 10 of them might do really well. The rest might flop, but it's from those 10 that you'll make the most money. Another cool thing ARK does, it releases all this research. Now, you'd think, why would they spend millions of pounds doing all this research and just release it to the public, to every Tom, Dick and Harry? And a lot of companies have started doing this. And I think the reason is it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if people are seeing these big companies are investing or selling, then generally the market will follow. So they released this report called The Big Ideas 2022, and it's where they think the world is moving towards. And it says it's for informational purpose only, and it shouldn't be taken as financial advice. And anything I'm saying should not be taken as financial advice, is what I'm doing. And just bear in mind, my allocation is not going to be 100% of my portfolio. I'm going to allocate 10% of my portfolio into the Ark Innovation Fund. So the key thing I think in this report they're talking about is the converging of technology. Technologies are linking together. So you got blockchain linking into battery tech, linking into AI, linking to robotics, genome editing, again, linking back into AI. So all of these are generating links. And this is where they think is where the world was going 10 years time. And to be honest, a lot of these I agree with. So for example, AI currently is a $10 trillion market. It's going to go to $108 trillion. Now, it may not get to $108 trillion, but I think AI is probably the biggest disruptor of human life. I think you'll get to a point where a lot of jobs will become obsolete. Driverless cars, call centers, you can have AI robots sort out your calls now. When you call your bank, there's pretty much an AI robot at the start figuring out what you need. There's chatbots. When you chat to companies online, most of the time, the first initial response is from the robot trying to figure out what you need. And it's only going to keep getting better and better and better. Again, battery technology. Again, this is one I agree with. It's going to be a massive market. And Teslas are probably one of the best in the market for battery tech. With the electrification of cars, this is a massive market. Blockchain is going to be a massive, massive market. I think especially in financial systems. If it disrupts the financial systems completely, then it's going to take over the world. I think really currently where blockchain sits, it benefits the growing economy as well. Where in these countries the currency is basically bullshit, you can get Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything like that to be your reserve currency for a country. And you can, I think you'll get to a point where a person like I can provide a loan to someone else with a certain percentage of interest rate, and that risk will be managed by a bank like Coinbase or something else. Robotics and gene sequencing. So overall, it's saying from a $14 trillion market, it's going to be a $210 trillion market by 2030. I think that is slightly overambitious, but I think there are good points in this report. Now, as you can see, this report does go in detail. And as I say, they probably spent like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pounds to get this report and get all this information. So if you've got time, definitely have a read. I'll link it in below. And there's cool things if you're into crypto about public blockchains. And remember, if you want your free share worth up to £100 with Trading212 or free trade, all you have to do is sign up using my link in the description box below. Deposit £1, open an account, and you'll get that free share. And I'll appreciate a like on this video, and a sub will be great as well.